Moved by Kate, seconded by
Beth.
Beth.
High school.
High school.
High school.
Did I say middle school?
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't catch where she was from, so, okay, so all those in favor?
Thank you.
6-0.
To the Hollis Brookline Administration and School Board, I hereby resign from my position as chemistry teacher at Hollis Brookline High School effective at the end of the current school year. I would like to thank you for my time at Hollis Brookline High School. Signed, Adam Needison.
Her news, give that to me.
Adam, I'm sorry, what's the last name?
Needison?
K.
What do you give me his, that way I just have his name in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the resignation of Adam Needison as as a chemistry teacher at Hollis Brookline High School effective June 2024, June 30th, 2024. Moved by Kate, seconded by Beth. Any good discussion? All those in favor? 6-0, motion carries. Did you want to know how to spell it?
Yeah.
Kned,
Yeah.
Eisen. All right. Dear Mr. Garzone, please accept this letter as formal notification that I'm resigning from my position as an ELA special ed teacher at Hollis Brookline High School and will not return for the 2024-2025 school year. I'm completing my contract for this year, 2023-2024, but will not sign for the next school year. I'm grateful for the support I've received in making this decision and the chance to contribute to the education of your students. Thank you again for the opportunity to teach at Hollis Brookline High School. I wish you and the entire school community all the best in the future. Sincerely, Carly Jennings.
Carly.
Jennings.
So I need a motion to accept the resignation of Carly Jennings from the position of ELA special education teacher at Hollis Brookline High School, effective June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Beth,
Second.
second by Kate. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0.
Dear Mr. Garzone, I resign from my position as special ed case manager from Hollis Brookline High School effective at the conclusion of the 23-24 school year. Sincerely, Jane Habert.
I need a motion to accept the resignation of Jane Hayward as a special education case manager from the Hollis Brookline High School effective June 2024, June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Beth.
Second.
Second by Kate. All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Good afternoon, Tim, Lauren, and Andy. I want to first say thank you for the opportunity to work here at Hollis Brookline High School. I've grown in my career as an administrator, and that is directly because of the support I've been given during the last 2 years. However, at this time, I feel that to continue to grow as an administrator, I need to pursue another path. Therefore, I'm resigning my position as Assistant Principal of Student Services effective June 30th, 2024. Thank you, Aisha Weaver.
We actually did that one last time.
It's just another notification.
We did that one already, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Moving on, a notification that we have hired an assistant principal of student services, Tracy Lane. She comes to us with a bachelor's in biology and psychology from Lake Forest College, a master's in special education from Simmons College, and additional coursework at UNH. She has 30 years in the field, and most recently serves as an assistant principal in Brattleboro, Vermont. She is a general special ed, IDD, and assistant principal certified, and she was hired with a salary of $107,000.
107?
107.
Do we need to make a motion?
Nope.
And that's an administrative contract, correct?
Correct.
So is that a replacement for the last resignation that you?
Did I double read? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we have some nominations.
Great. I have to go to the nomination part of the outline.
Lane.
L-A-N-E.
That's
And
this
it's
part.
it's Tracy with an I.
Tracy Lane. No, that's great. Congratulations on that. And we don't have to approve that. I didn't know that. We should know that. Why don't
Related to Lois?
Okay.
Keep
Moving on.
moving forward.
So I'd like to nominate Kristen Narr for school counselor at the high school for the 24-25 year. She has a bachelor's in psychology from Keene State and a master's in education school counseling from Keene State. She's at a master's plus 15, step 19, at a salary of $91,075.
Just easier if I have it covered.
Yep.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the superintendent's nomination of Kristen Yar for the position of school counselor at the high school.
Can you spell that last name?
Knarr. And she would be at step M plus 15. Oh, no, sorry, her degree for the position of counselor at a step of 19 and a salary of $91,075.
Is that based on?
Can we get the motion?
Contract?
Oh, so moved.
Thank you. Moved by Kate, seconded by Beth.
Yes.
Yes, it's based on the new contract.
You need to sign it.
Oh, I need to sign it. So,
If we
first we have to vote for it. Okay, is there any other discussion?
Did we have, is this fulfilling one of the resignations or another position?
So there is a resignation that was brought to you December, maybe.
Yeah, it was
One
in
of our,
October. The school
It
year.
was actually October, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it. I don't remember. Okay, so all those in favor? That is a 6-0 vote. All, that's an approval, and I'll sign them as we're going. I will sign them, I promise. I'm gonna put them right there.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'd like to nominate Danielle Dunn, French teacher at Hollis Brookline Middle School for
Okay.
24-25. She has a bachelor's in French and secondary education from Keene State and a master's in curriculum and instruction from Southern New Hampshire University. She has a master's plus 30 credits, step 12, for a salary of $79,418.
So I need a motion to accept the superintendent's nomination of Danielle Dunn for the position of French teacher at Hollis Brookline Middle School at step 12 and a salary of $79,418.
So moved.
Moved by Kate. Second by Beth. Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
I
6-0.
would like to mention, there are a lot of Danielles at the middle school.
Yep.
I feel like there are.
There
You're
are.
absolutely
We're collecting them.
Multiple.
It must be like a really
A
big
very
like
popular
job.
Offer you a job, but you have to work at the middle school.
I would like to nominate Samantha Boudreau, computer science teacher at Hollis Brookline Middle School for the 24-25 school year. She has her bachelor's in marketing from LaSalle University and her master's in education from University of Phoenix. So she's at master's plus 15, step 17, for a salary of $86,684.
So I need a motion to accept the superintendent's nomination of Samantha Boudreau for the position of computer science teacher at HBMS, step 17, at a salary of $86,684.
So moved.
Moved by Kate, second by Beth. Any discussion?
What experience does this candidate have related to the subject matter?
She has been the Hollis Brookline Middle School computer science teacher for the last year and a half. And prior to that, she was the computer teacher at Hollis Upper Elementary. That's where all of her years of experience come from. So she's been with us for quite some time. When we had a last-minute opening in the middle of the year, I walked into her classroom and asked her to help me out and come to the middle school.
Just because none of the educational credentials even remotely overlap with the subject matter.
Right. No, she's phenomenal.
All those in favor? Any other questions? All those in favor? 6-0.
Is she local?
She
used
was.
to be.
She was.
Yeah, her kids went through our schools.
Yeah, she used to be Brookline.
Okay. And I have a nomination. John Boucher, physics teacher at Hollis Brookline High School for 24-25 school year. He has a bachelor's in physics and math at UMass Lowell and a master's in curriculum instruction from UMass Lowell. He would be coming to us master's plus 30, step 20, for a salary of $96,767.
I'll repeat it all. So I need a motion to accept the superintendent's nomination of John Boucher, Boucher, the French word, Boucher, for the position of physics teacher at HBHS.
Physics.
He is going to be on step 20 with a salary of $96,767. I need a motion
So moved.
and a second. Moved by Kate, seconded by Beth.
Fill in the gaps. For those of you who don't know, this is a round trip.
It's a round trip?
And he was department chair, I think, when he left, wasn't he?
No,
He wasn't?
no. He was the co-founder of Science Olympiad in New Hampshire with me. And we're very excited to have him
Is he
back.
administrator?
He has, he's leaving an SAU level administrator position in the Bedford School District.
When he left, did he first go to Milford?
No,
He went straight to Bedford?
he just went straight to Bedford. He was originally math and science curriculum administrator for K-8 and then expanded into the high school.
I worked with him on the scheduling committee when they created the current high school schedule.
So he is coming back to us. That is very exciting news. Welcome back. So all,
Well, we've got to wait and see. till we-
well, let's see if we vote to approve this. All those in favor? Well, then let's welcome him back then. That passes. Motion carries. Are we all set with that?
That's all I have.
Okay, great. I'll sign all this. So that's 4. That's terrific. Thank you very much.
Many more are close to being ready for you.
Great.
Just a related question. Approximately how many open positions are there in the co-op currently? Less than 10, more than 10?
I think less than 10.
At the high school, right now, we have an interview committee open for special ed case manager. 2 English positions, but we're in we're a little ways along the process there. We're working through a second round interviews at this point. We have 1 chemistry, 1 PE,
And we're wrapping up reading specialists.
reading specialist we're wrapping up, more language and French. That's it.
And we have social studies at the middle school. We have music that we're finishing up. I feel like that might be it for the middle school.
Are you seeing any notable change since the contract? As far
Funny you
as-
say that. Right after the contract passed, more applications came in. Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing. Oh, I'm sorry. We also have math at the middle school.
So that's just about 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at this point, we're going to move to approving some minutes. I have a new outline in front of me, so we had some minute changes this afternoon. So I'm going to need a motion to accept as amended, and I'll read the following amendments. Page 13, line 31, replace form with from. Page 18, line 39, delete when, and start the sentence with he views. Page 5, lines 10 and 11, the sentence should read, Superintendent Corey stated he does not believe it is always accurate as for the 24-2025 school year, the cost of transportation DC trip is included in the budget. And page 6, lines 18, 19, and 22, replace Principal Grazone with Principal West. So I need a motion to accept as amended.
So moved.
Moved by Kate,
Second.
seconded by Beth. Are there any,
Did you get any feedback about your understanding of the conversation versus the minutes on that area about trip funding?
yeah, no, we did. I talked to Andy about what it stated, and he said that he was referring to the cost of the transportation for the DC trip is specifically not for this year's, but it was not in this year's budget, it is in next year's budget. But the minutes, as they were typed up in draft form, reflected that they were in this year's budget, which isn't accurate. So I talked to Dawn today, and she reworded it so that it shows that the costs will be in the budget for next year, but it's not in this year's budget. And what Andy said during the meeting, I think indicated that. That's how I remember. But we want to make sure the minutes reflect what's actually accurate.
And I thought he I thought he said both. I thought he said it was included this year and we're now, because I thought what.
But it's not, so,
Okay.
right, it's, they're not included
So
this
we
year.
did not, as a board, we did not approve any contribution from the budget to the trip that is currently
No.
underway.
Right, the trip that's currently underway is completely funded by the students and fundraising efforts and the $9,000 donation that we accepted. But next year's trip will be, there's a line item in the budget for next year's trip. Are there any other questions on the minutes? All those in favor? Was there anybody who needed to abstain?
Was this the one? This was.
Oh, no, the public, everybody was there, so 6-0. And then we have a motion to accept as presented the non-public minutes from February 19th, 2024. I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
That's Kate, and I need a second.
Second.
Beth. And, okay, all those in favor? 4, yep, it should be 4, and then abstentions. Yeah, you two should abstain. So it's 4-0-2, motion carries. And then the public hearing from February 20th, none of us can vote on that because we weren't there, but we can accept as presented. So, motion, right? And what do we do? That's the public hearing from the 20th.
I think you can approve the minutes because it was a public hearing.
Okay. Can we?
Well, we can, whether it's meaningful doesn't mean anything. I mean, if you read the.
I was there.
thought that you could make that decision, because some of us watch the meeting if you're not there, but I just abstained because that's the practice here, but I've
I know,
always
but I
been
don't
in
even
places
think you
where
could have
can.
watched it because it wasn't.
No, not this one, but I'm just saying. in
Right,
general,
because this
yeah.
it wasn't.
This was not recorded.
Live
This was
streamed.
not,
Nope.
yeah.
This is just the presentation on the petition warrant article for the one item.
I don't think we're approving them, we are accepting.
Exactly. That's-
Okay, so we need a motion to accept as presented the public hearing minutes from February 20th, 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Kate,
Second.
second by Beth. All those in favor of accepting as presented? All right, we're gonna do that, 6-0.
It's a gift.
You're welcome.
Accepting a
Accepting is
donation.
different than approving.
I'm not so sure on that one, but we're gonna do it, and, okay, and then we really do need to also make a motion to accept the annual meeting minutes from March 19th, 2024, and we were all there. So I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Is that correct?
There's a couple amendments.
Oh, I know, I can't find them. Oh, here we are, sorry. Here's the amendments. I'm sorry, whatever. Page 1, second paragraph, correct the spelling of Babcock. Oh, yes, that's right. And page 4, the total no votes for Article 4 should be listed as 552. So I need to make a motion to accept as amended.
So moved.
Second.
And Kate and Beth. And any other comments? All those in favor? All right, so that's 6-0, motion carries. So at this point, we're going to move forward to public input. I'm going to open the floor for public input at 7:35 PM. And seeing none, I'm going to close the floor. Actually, I'm going to make a comment for anyone listening. We really want to hear from the public. We really do. And it's, if the,
Can't close it.
we can't close it?
30 minutes.
Oh, okay, so I'm not going to technically close it, I'm going to.
Move on.
But I'm going to say to the public before that we would love to hear from them. But I can't technically close it, so the floor will be open until 7:55. But if
Come
anybody,
on down.
so come on down, we're
8:05.
happy to hear. 8:05, thank you for doing the math for me. 7:25, 8:05, yeah, not a mathematician, 8:05. Little frazzled today, I think, didn't sleep well. 8:05, but we are going to move on with the meeting. If you do come in, we won't stop what we're doing, but we will give you an opportunity to speak, but you have to be here by 8:05. So please come down, give us some input. Okay, so moving forward, principal and athletic reports. It seems like this is all on Tim. So go ahead, Tim, I'm gonna sit
Tim
back
show.
and enjoy the
Sounds
show.
good. Enjoy, please. All right, so I will start with Brian's athletic report. And I want to highlight both the closing of the winter season and the start of the spring season. So our girls' basketball and ice hockey teams both made the playoffs, bowed out early in the first round, but two strong performances by both clubs. And our wrestling team finished 4th at the D2s and ended up with a top 10 finish at the Meet of Champs, with several individuals earning Division II state championships, including Caden Brucio and John McCole, who qualified for the New England Championship. Bowling team ended the season with Cassidy Crivis and Travis LaFontaine representing HBHS at the individual bowling state championships. And our unified basketball team, as we heard last time, did end the season capping off another undefeated year, beating the staff during Spirit Week. Brian did want to also highlight the spring sports are up and running. Actually, we had games today. We had tennis kick things off last week, and despite the snowstorm, the fields are playable. I saw the JV baseball team was hosting a game today, first action out there on the field. So it's good to see spring sports underway across the board at the high school. We also sent 22 scholar athletes up to the Capitol Center for the Arts in Concord just a couple weeks ago. Students who qualify for this maintain a B+ average or better and participated in at least 2 varsity sports during their senior year. Very proud of the group that went up to Concord once again this year. And Brian also provided the participation numbers on the second page there. And like we've talked about in the past, our programs all remain healthy. And we do have a little bit of ebb and flow between programming, but overall, our numbers across the board are all pretty healthy. I do want to highlight one thing here. We did drop the JV program with softball this year, only having 15 kids taking part. Can't field 2 full teams, so all students who came out do have a spot on the team, but we're not running a JV program this
Which
year.
sport?
Softball, girls softball.
Do you know if you're running, I assume you're not running, you'd be running JV for volleyball, right? But what about for girls and boys lacrosse?
Boys JV volleyball, yes. For lacrosse, I believe he was able to schedule. Don't quote me on that. I know that was certainly the goal, to get some JV games scheduled.
Not a lot of
A lot of students, probably playing
Yeah.
a little bit of both.
Swing-
but
swinging up and
swinging
down.
up and back, yeah.
Okay, and the girls are the same thing, 28,
Yeah.
because that's a 10 v.
Yeah, and
10 v.
I can
10
ask
sport.
Brian, I don't know specifically if that transpired. I know that was the goal, though, even if you didn't have a full separate entity, that we were gonna
Just
be able to
keep 'em
schedule
playing.
some fifth quarters and the like. And you'll see on the last page there, he did include some hires. So we did hire a head football coach, John Trisciani, and we also hired a handful of others, including assistant softball, girls tennis assistant, middle school boys lacrosse, and middle school outdoor track.
Are any of those
That's a familiar name.
people staff members?
The last one, yeah, I believe Bob is a teacher.
6th grade teacher at Hughes.
Hughes, yes, thank you.
Pardon me?
6th grade teacher at Hughes.
Bob Pooler.
Bob Pooler.
Can you ask Brian or someone to provide an update on planned maintenance, repair, replacement, whatever, for the turf field? The question came up during budget season as to when we're going to be likely to incur some expenses regarding renewal of it.
And we also need to put on the agenda for the athletic department and everyone to work on the stipend, make sure that the stipend committee is created and that we have I think a board member on it, and
Board member and staff members is the composition.
yeah, so we need to make sure that happens. So we need to make sure that's on the May agenda
Yeah,
to,
Okay.
should occur.
did we approve that committee already? Or were we waiting for the contract to be
The
approved?
expectation, and in my mind, the tentative agreement included agreement to those, so.
Right.
Because that's part of the contract process.
So is that on our radar?
It
Is that on the radar, Tim?
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. And congratulations to all those winter sports athletes. Does anybody else have any questions for the athletic report?
No, psyched to see the numbers go up.
Yeah, that's good news. Especially considering that our enrollment is a smidge down.
Yep.
Like, it's really good news that the numbers have been going up. That's great.
Agreed. All right, moving on. I'll cover Patrick's highlights here. So just two notes here. Long-standing programming offered at the middle school continues to evolve and provide students with well-rounded education both in the ROC program as well as the Tech Ed. We had talked a little bit earlier, and Mr. West highlighted a project that the eighth graders did, very real-world application here, the drywall project. So the Tech Ed program, after last couple of years, is back up and running, and the ROC program continues to evolve to meet the needs of all students down here at the middle school. As I'm talking now, Mr. West is down in Washington, D.C. He did provide in the board report the itinerary, and they are down there through the end of the week.
I think they're
And
dancing right now.
They're
They're on
dancing
a
right now?
cruise.
Okay,
I think they're
I
on a
didn't-
cruise right now. I checked to see where they
Okay,
would be
all right.
tonight.
So
Yeah,
they're
I
out
think they're on a
dancing
cruise.
right
I think
now?
Patrick is enjoying a cruise.
Dinner dance. Yeah.
Enjoying the struggle. Sorry. Been on the trip a lot of times.
Yep, and it sounds like they did plan some nice day trips for the handful of students who did not attend the DC trip as well. So they just concluded their HBMS Drama Club performance of Peter Pan Jr. And Mr. West wanted to tip his cap to the over 60 students who took part in the overall production. And it sounds like it was quite the event.
That's huge.
Yeah, 60 kids taking
That's
part in the
60
program.
kids in a middle school play.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Good stuff. And
The spark is there, the interest is there.
Yep. And congratulations to 7th grade student Sophia Bozick, who represented Holmes Brookline Middle School at the New Hampshire State Spelling Bee. So congratulations. Sophia was one of 20 New Hampshire students who, after winning the school round, went on to compete in an online competition and qualified for the state competition. So congratulations,
Congratulations to her.
to Sophia in representing HBMS at the state spelling bee competition. And while I can't guarantee I can answer the questions, I'm open to any comments or questions on Patrick's.
Congratulations to Sophia. Anybody have anything else? I actually think that drywall project looks pretty cool.
Agreed,
I
yeah.
think that's really, they don't look like they're very big. They were like, I don't know, but.
Hard to say what the scale is there.
I know,
would agree,
but like, I think
they had
that's
the
pretty
components
cool
right.
that they
built
learned how to
windows,
like frame
insulation.
and like put the,
Yep.
yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, so good stuff.
Why are you laughing?
Because you set yourself up in such a way, it's really tough.
Okay, moving on to the principal report from the high school.
Tom's just put more milk duds in his mouth.
They're all gone.
So I just wanted to preview, in the upcoming May meeting, I will be bringing forward a proposal from our social studies department for an international trip to Ireland, Scotland, and England. And the plan for that trip, as you may recall, we are sending a group to Spain in the spring of 2025.
That's
So
right.
this proposal will be for the following spring in 2026.
They
And
need
is that
board
through-
members
I
for
was
that,
just
right?
gonna say.
7 board
Well, I
members.
think it should be chaperoned by the board.
Yeah, chaperoned
So,
by the
and that
board.
was what, it used to be the AP World Teachers who kind of organized that. I don't know if it's that.
Yeah,
It's-
so a very, very similar offering was made pre-COVID.
Right.
And this trip did not
Yeah.
run. So you're going to see that coming back in May. So we're just finishing up the final touches for that proposal. Congratulations to Connor Moquin for winning Best Non-Classical Composition at the New Hampshire Music Educator Association's composition competition just this past month. And hats off to Dylan Silcox for directing and Chaz Rogers for providing the musical direction for our most recent production of Merrily We Roll Along. We had 5 performances in addition to a Cav Block preview during the school day for students to showcase their talents in front of their peers. The the acting, the music, the singing, the lighting, the sound, the costumes, everything, everything was, again, top-notch. So hats off to all of those who took part in that production. I wanted to say congratulations to Genevieve Scales for winning the Rotary Club four-way speech contest. As part of our college comp course, students had the opportunity to deliver speeches in front of a panel of judges at the Lawrence Barn while we were up at the gym on the annual meeting night on the 19th of March. So Genevieve did go on to compete at the state level, and we want to just offer congratulations to her as well as all those who took part, the 9 students who took part in the competition. Congratulations to our math team for taking home the League D2 League Championship.
Woohoo!
Yep. And we also had an individual who was honored with the second highest scoring freshman in the entire league, Benton Zhang. So congratulations to the whole team, Mrs. Moores, Mrs. Plummer, and Mr. Zhang for their performance this year.
Do they do that? Where do they do that championship?
I don't know if it's the same location every year.
It's not like nearby?
I don't know where they travel. this
Okay,
year.
so
Yeah.
just saying, maybe next time they come back as a Division II League Championship, we could get the fire department
Ooh, I
to
like it.
escort them back to town,
I
like
like
we
it.
do sometime with the sports teams.
like it.
You know? Woo-hoo!
And I did want to just update the board with the advisory instructional practices committee work. So we continue to meet. Actually, we were going to meet again tomorrow. We had to reschedule the last one with the snow day. But we are developing frameworks around 6 pillars for our overall programming. The 6 pillars including philosophy and purpose, which is kind of the guiding principle, and all the work that we're doing beyond that will relate back to our philosophy and purpose, and I'll highlight some of those concepts in a minute. Our organization, the program content, staff development and support, the assessment and leadership, and this all ties nicely into the language in the memorandum of understanding that was agreed to for the 3-year upcoming contract. So we're using both that document as well as this committee work to develop the overall programming. So the philosophy and purpose, the committee has set out to kind of identify the guiding principles that we want to relate back to. So all the decisions we make about what the program looks like relate back to these guiding principles, which are specifically lifelong learning skills. We identified a need to ensure that our students are leaving us with varied skill set, allowing them to kind of pursue whatever their goals are beyond graduation. Building connections within HBHS, and that means both developing connections with a trusted adult in the school community, as well as working alongside classmates within a heterogeneous advisory grouping. So the groupings will be a cross-section of the building. They will be made randomly, and that is done with purpose. And our last kind of philosophy statement is the advisory program is around community culture and communication. So the program will provide a platform for two-way communication with students and staff that will include weekly announcements, class meetings, emergency response drills, student council presentations, and opportunities for students to provide feedback and input into our school community. So that's really a central component that we want to make sure exists within the advisory program. The organization of the program, one of the 6 pillars, that's kind of where we're at right now in the work. Just a couple examples of some of the highlights that we're looking. So we're developing the philosophy of it's a 4-year assignment. So you come in as freshmen, and the idea is you're going to stay with that group and ideally stay with that advisor for your 4 years. Obviously, it's a 3-year program. Next year will be year 1. So if you're a rising senior, it's just the 1 year, but in concept, we want our teachers to understand kind of what the vision is. So the idea is those groups, like we said earlier, are heterogeneously grouped by grade level.
Okay.
And then the idea would be those groups stay together for the 4 years. Right now, we're in the process of firming things up with the schedule. We have that 45-minute block on Monday version. The group has taken ongoing input from staff and students as well. And we're looking at a model that breaks that 45 minutes into 15-minute segments on CAB block days. The committee feels like that particular schedule does fit well with the building connections and kind of that more consistent touch point, as opposed to, you know, seeing a student only once a week. We have many weeks where, you know, you might miss Monday for a holiday or whatnot, and that doesn't bode well for building that connection. So even though it's the same amount of time, when you see a kid every single day, well, in this case, you know, 3 out of 5 days in a week, it provides for a better platform for building that connection. So we thought that tied in a little bit better, and we have that schedule and all the kind of logistics that go around that in the draft phases at this point. And there's other elements of structure and organization that we continue to kind of process and identify as tying into those lifelong learning skills, building connections, community culture, and communication. So like I said earlier, that kind of guides the work. And then we're going to develop all the 6 pillars, which will include, you know, professional development, feedback mechanisms from staff and students, and I can say that I'm proud of the work. I feel like the committee has developed a really nice process for thoroughly vetting all of these topics and keeping our eyes focused on what we feel the school needs and how advisory is going to meet those needs.
Great.
So that's what. Kate, did you want to add anything?
Unfortunately, most of the meetings have occurred on days where I've actually had to be in my office, so.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
tomorrow is a different day for me, so I will be there.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions for you, Tim. First of all, who's sending out the actual invitations? Because I'm getting the reminders the day of the meeting, but I'm not getting the invitations to the actual meeting. So since I didn't get notified that it had been rescheduled.
So I send the calendar invites. I don't know why you wouldn't get it, but then you would get the reminder. If you're on the calendar invite when I hit send.
And I don't know when I saw the thing that it was canceled, but I didn't see anything that said that it's been rescheduled. So if you could just
Okay.
check into that for me.
Yep.
On the third item, the community culture and communication.
Yep.
It says two-way communication with students and staff.
Mhm.
Is that two-way communication between the students and the staff, or is this two-way communication between the IPC group and the students and staff?
So I didn't want to get too far down in the weeds, but one of the concepts that we're trying to build in is the idea that each advisory has a representative, and they would meet with a member of the IPC team on a monthly basis. So they would put forward. So you know,
Okay, so it's between that team and this group. Okay, that I was just, because I know the wording is very carefully chosen, so I wasn't sure who the other party was.
Yep.
Which brings me to my other question is, what is the expected method for forming that team, the formal leadership team that's part of the MOU?
Yeah, so the goal will be to identify the specific individuals who, one, are willing and able to commit to the work. There's obviously, we have a large group at this point. I want to say it's in the low teens, I think, 13 or 14 members right now. The way the MOU is worded, I think it's 4 to 5 staff members, including the principal or their designee. So with that, it's going to be likely members from the existing committee that will be identified. They've been doing the work. They understand what's gone into it. I'm not going to rule out that someone who's not on the committee couldn't put in for it, but it would lend itself well if it was somebody who's already been doing the work to remain on as one of the.
Do you see them being separate? Is one group going to phase out as you move in, or are these going to be?
I think one group will phase out after we develop the overall program overview, and I think, you know, with the mindset being, you know, by the end of the school year, we'll have a more consolidated version, which will then end up being, you know, the 4 or 5 individuals who carry on the work, who are meeting regularly to develop kind of, you know, the ongoing curriculum and response to feedback. And so I think timeline-wise, that group will be identified before the end of the school year. with this work coincidingly kind of concluding and then bringing in professional development for our staff.
Because we have some specific milestones that we have to do before the end of the school year, I think, to have it in place for summer work.
Yeah, so our goal will be to have both a team sent out again to spend some time within an advisory program, and then also have a group come in for our general staff to receive some training. That's our goal.
Has any decision been made as to whether administrators are going to be allowed to participate in advisory?
Oh, as an advisor? Yeah, so and again, we continue to, kind of hash these types of these types of questions out. The goal will be to have administrators take part in an advisory. It might be in a co-advisor role. And, I'll just speak personally for myself. I clearly am in support of the program, and I want to have that experience as well. There's just limitations on what you can guarantee your availability for. So I think in a similar fashion, we've talked about how a school counselor would have a role, not necessarily a traditional lead advisor in a singular advisory. So yes, a role. What that looks like yet we're still defining, and it could potentially be a tag team of maybe it's the lucky group that gets 2 administrators in one, and or the like. So yes, at least for myself, yes, and then defining what that role looks like, we're still working through.
Has there been much clear reaction from the general staff population to the decision that's going forward?
I don't know if I could speak to the I think there's, just like any decision, I think
It's not like
there's.
they're banging down your door
No.
with pitchforks and axes yet, right?
No, and I think if anything, what they, I'd say the consistent message is, they're looking forward to hearing more about what it is this is going to look like. So, the monthly updates in our dedicated time during our staff meetings on this topic. So, the timing of things, we had the March 19th meeting, the contract passed. We happened to have a staff meeting the next day, and we were presenting, I presented the work that had been done up to that point, obviously.
You
with
were
a lot
well
of things-
rested, I'm sure.
Yeah, with a lot of things hinging on how how the Tuesday night went. So, if there's one consistent theme from the staff, it's they want to have more information about what it is this will look like, be it the schedule, the amount of time, what it is we're going to be doing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for those 15 minutes specifically. They want to know yesterday what this is going to play out like, which I don't necessarily have all those answers today, but the consistent theme is they want to wrap their heads around this because it's happening. So
I think the
I'd say
sooner
that's the
you
most
can
consistent thing.
get the leadership team created, you can sort of offload that because that way it's not they're not coming to the administrators, they're coming to their
Yeah, and
colleagues.
as far as the committee is concerned, I would offer that there's been a nice sharing of facilitation. It's while I set the meetings up, it's not necessarily it's not my meeting, and it is committee work, and we do have norms, and I'm not.
Oh, no, I know that works well, but I'm just saying.
Agreed. Yeah. No. I think that's a appropriate way to roll this out because it is a committee-led initiative.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions for Tim on Tim, you're done, right, with you're open for questions now?
I am open for questions.
Is there any other questions on any of it? Great. Looks like good, strong, solid work is being done on that. And congratulations to the Genevieve Scales and to Kit and Kaylee and to Benton. Was the speech contest, is that new? Or has
No,
that been
they've been
going on
doing
for
it.
years and years and I just haven't noticed before? Or we must talk about it every year.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there was a little bit difference in the title or heading of it this
Okay.
year, I think.
Okay.
It's usually, I think There's a
think it's
different-
always the four-way, at least
Okay.
as long as I've been part of the
I,
Rotary, it's been.
I've always
Okay.
heard it headlined as the Rotary speech, as, that was,
Okay.
that was the key
Well,
identifying
Anyway.
characteristic. I didn't know about the
Congratulations,
four-way part
Seth.
of it.
maybe next year it won't be on our same meeting and I'll go watch it, because it seems like something I would love to watch.
Okay.
Or maybe it will be on our meeting and I'll just go watch it anyway. Sorry, can't be there, gotta go to that speech contest. That would be
I feel
way
bad for
more
Webb
interesting.
Scales, because he had to come to our meeting to,
Okay,
for us.
moving on to the revenue and expense update.
Okay. Take a look at the revenue expense. You can see that we have some savings in regular education due to vacancies and fewer lane changes from, masters to masters plus 15, et cetera. For special ed, we see a savings with ESY and contracted services and added district services. Bit of a savings. Our vocational program, we're overspending in that because we sent more students than we had budgeted for, which is a good problem to have. We are,
Are we using them for this year or not using them?
this year we are. Next year, we're allowing students to complete their program if they started it. Looking at our co-curricular program, we created that new structure for the coaches where if you stay, you can earn more. And so we budgeted where we thought we might be, and then we're coming in under, so that's a savings. Let's see. And then additional repair costs for our facilities pushed us over in facilities. Transportation is directly due to the vocational transportation. We have more students to transport. And then benefits, we see a bit of a savings due to vacancies and then hiring savings, which is helpful. Overall, it looks like our unreserved fund balance before funding anything is $871,854. The maintenance trust was $300,000 that was passed. Contingency at $125,000. If we were to move forward with a retained fund balance of $340,000, that reduces that $871 by $765,000, with a projected fund balance of $106,854.
Do you know what percentage that 340 represents?
Nope. I do not, but
Well,
actually, I don't have the full budget
I think
amount.
the total
Yeah, I was
budget's like
wondering
28.6.
Where our limit is, what, 2.5 right now?
Expenses, 28.6, 28.6.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't think that's even close to.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think
It's
it
definitely
is.
not.
It's not, because isn't,
And it's not exactly on that 28,
yeah, it isn't, is it? It's
Yeah.
on
but
the-
this is over, I think it's probably closer to 1.5%.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions on that? Thank you. Thank you to Kelly and her team for providing us with that. Okay.
Okay.
Next on our discussion item is, where'd my agenda go? I just
The
lost it.
facilities update?
Facilities update. That's Rob or you? Yeah.
Yeah, so we were going to meet in April, and we got the snowstorm, so we decided not to. However, I recall that our committee ceases at April 1st, so that probably wouldn't have been proper
Yeah,
to
we need to
meet.
make a motion tonight.
So it's just as well that we didn't, I guess, because the one thing I'm thinking of is expanding the committee to, and this is in reaction to some of the feedback I received from committee members, to have some standing members from the Energy Committee join us. They have been joining us as like ride-alongs, but not necessarily voting members. So if there's any concern or objections to that, I would certainly take that as direction. I was going to have it as a discussion item when we meet again in committee, and to see if there's any interest from the energy folks to join us. And what's driving that is basically a lot of our work going forward is going to be alternate energy options and things. So I thought, now that we got kind of the boilers kind of figured out, it's probably an opportune time to at least consider maybe a modest expansion to the committee. Other than that, we were planning a site walk to look at possible areas for solar install. Based on some of the studies that have been completed, it looks like it's going to run 1.3 or 1.4 megawatts, I believe.
Is that a need or a capability?
That would, apparently, as per the white paper that was done a couple of years ago, I think I added it up and it looks like 1.3
So
meg.
that's the potential demand.
That's the demand
Okay.
as the report cites. So what that translates and how big install would need to be and would kind of dictate how much room we'd need to. But all that needs to be worked out. That's all future work for the committee, so.
So
That's about it.
my only thing with, I'm fine with having a Hollis Energy committee member be as slated on this committee, but we have sort of it designed to have certain members from different towns. I would say that we would need to put in another, at least leave an
Brookline
opening
member at
for
large.
another at-large Brookline
Yeah,
member.
I think it makes
So,
sense.
like, it doesn't have, I don't know if we'll fill it, because we can't always fill it, but we should have the
Somebody
space
who
for
has
another at-large
some
member.
sort of
The way
energy
that it
background.
was originally set up, there was a select board
Yes.
representative, and for Brookline, the representative happens to be on the select board, but he's primarily there because he's on the Brookline Energy Committee.
Okay,
My suggestion would be, because Hollis select board has not provided someone, I would say if that is the role, I would say have that be their select
Designate.
board representative unless they want to do otherwise.
Kind of fills the hole, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so
I-
something like
I
that,
am,
just make sure it's even.
I am supportive of including them, but I think that at most they should have a single vote. Other people can certainly attend and contribute, but I don't want it to become weighted as
I
a
agree.
Hollis thing. So I think you're on
I
the right
think,
track.
I think it's just a single voting member. Others can provide input.
Right,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
So that's kind of the direction where we're going.
Excellent.
And from that, Rob mentioned that we're all set with the boiler project. So we have one quick item to update from the boiler project. So we sent out RFQs for energy performance contracting services, and we heard back. And then we reviewed them, and some important factors for us in terms of our recommendation was we wanted to make sure that the company could meet our timeline and our deadlines, especially since we're a school, and we wanted to be able to run our school during the school year. Our prior experience with the company and having solid results with them, utilizing a local, smaller size company that might be more responsive to our specific needs. And then the cost structure of the proposal, there was the one we're recommending minimizes risk to the overall project as opposed to a lot of individual items that could each have a plus or minus that might end up having us go way off budget. So for those reasons, we are recommending moving forward with EEI for the project, for the boiler project.
What does EDI stand for? Do you know? Is that a name we recognize?
Energy efficient investment. So they're the company that did our system at the high school, our dehumidification system, and they replaced our lights.
So this is to put propane boilers, propane burners on the existing boilers, is that correct?
So this was to use the existing boilers, but replace the burners, get a new oil tank for the generator
Yep.
to maintain that, and then purchase liquid propane tanks and remove the existing underground oil tanks.
And you did get a monetary proposal for that project?
It's $347,250.
Okay, so it's quite close to what was budgeted?
Mhm.
They must have been watching the meeting.
So that is the recommendation. And then side note, we discussed this here and there, but I just want to put it on everyone's radar again. Based on the work that the committee does, if we go ahead and move the committee forward again, the next order of business was to then look at the middle school. And so a discussion item was replacing the middle school boiler, purchasing propane tanks for the boiler down here, and removing the underground oil tank here so we could just be done with the piping issues. Prioritizing that because we need to replace the existing pipes as we know where we stand with that. Another item that we were looking at is solar, but one thing we had discussed is the potential of, if there's a surplus, encumbering money to utilize that money toward the FY26 project to lower the overall cost. So I just want to put that in your radar. We don't have a ton of money right now that we could encumber, but just if that, things change quickly in May in the budget. So if we find that we are in a surplus situation, that would be a recommendation that we'll bring forward.
So we have a motion later on
Yeah.
to approve the recommendation of the superintendent to the boiler project, so that's the, to approve EEI's.
EEI.
Okay.
Is the information on the details of the proposal available?
Not within the board docs, but yes, I'm sure you can get that from Lance.
When would the start date be?
The start date, I believe, is as soon as school is out.
So the question I have is, can we get the information and provide approval in the May meeting, or do we have to approve it now without having had a chance to review the proposal? I mean, are we, is like a 10-day expiration kind of thing?
In order to be on the schedule, we need to move forward with them. The other proposal could not guarantee the timeline that we needed.
So you got two.
So we got two proposals.
And the administration reviewed it, so as
Yeah.
our agent, so.
Yeah.
And that was the committee, that's sort of where the committee was. The
Yeah.
administration was going to go back to the committee with their recommendation.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do you
that's,
have it there with you?
No,
okay.
I do not.
Maybe we can get it by the time we meet as a
yeah.
committee.
No, but they're asking for a vote tonight.
Yeah, I understand.
We don't need Tim anymore.
Um,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Mr. Grisone, you don't have to stay anymore. You can go. Thank you, Kate.
Although you want
And also, Chris, everybody, see me.
We've passed the end of public input.
And he wants candy.
And public input has closed.
I do have a response to your JV lacrosse. We are running both JV girls and boys. The boys are playing extra time after the varsity game, and the girls are playing full games. And the cycle for the turf field is about a 10-year cycle, and our business administrator is already aware of that information. And he's aware of the committee,
How
the
many
need for the
years
stipend.
into that 10-year cycle are we?
3. The first year was the first football game up there was my first year back, so this is year 3.
I mean, we had it for longer, but we didn't play on it because it was 2020.
Spring the year prior.
The question was, when do we need to start saving to replace it?
Okay.
I think he's having those conversations with the business administrator
Okay.
currently.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So thank you for that update, Rob,
Sure,
on
sure.
facility committee.
Sorry for wrecking your cushy job.
Okay. Next item is the middle school Farley Building property discussion. I just wanted to know if we have an update from the superintendent's office on any of that.
I'm so glad you asked. So we are slow and steady moving forward, but there's a lot of more discussions that need to have happened. So Andy has a meeting with the town administrator on April 16th to discuss,
The land swap.
yes, the land
Okay.
swap. And we are waiting for the land survey to conclude. But also the town administrator to discuss just the plans and
Okay.
the Farley building.
The
and
Farley building and the plans.
division and the direction and whatever.
All right, Tim, thank you.
But there's still many conversations to be had, many decisions to work through, and nothing's a done deal.
Okay.
I do
So-
have a question, is there anything in either our policies or state policies that impact the accessibility of parking in and around a school, as far as, is that just something that we do by a practice, or is there anything that is actually required either by our policies or by state, as far as having unrestricted parking within X distance of a school, do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I cannot imagine that there is an RSA that would govern that. Certainly, we don't have policy around it, but there are plenty of schools that do not have available parking.
No, it's more that
Within
nearby-
50 feet of your school
Yeah.
that isn't your property, or whatever.
I
I
mean,
mean,
not
there are
any-
plenty of,
There's plenty of
schools
schools like
that
that.
are like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I think like city
have
schools.
Have
and things
Sure.
like
unrestricted
that,
parking
right?
in
Right.
close proximity
Right.
to the
Sure.
building.
there are plenty, yeah.
sure.
Kinda tough to govern.
So we're still so the superintendent is still in conversation with the town administrator regarding the land swap, which does need to be finalized for this board at least before we have any kind of conversation regarding the MOU that was presented to us. At least I'm not speaking for the whole board, but so there.